The Srimad Bhagavatam is often described as the mature fruit of the Vedic tree, a vast literary ocean spanning 18,000 verses. For centuries, it has been the ultimate guide to the divine. But for a seeker in the 16th century, the sheer scale of this ocean was a challenge. He sought to distill its essence into a form that a heart in agony could consume. This is the origin of the Narayaniyam, a text where every single verse vibrates with the power of the whole. The story begins with Melpathur Narayana Bhattathiri, a brilliant scholar and master of Sanskrit grammar from the lush lands of Kerala. Bhattathiri was not just a man of intellect, he was a man of profound character. When his beloved teacher, Achyut Pisharthi, fell victim to a debilitating paralysis or arthritis, the young student could not bear the sight. In an act of legendary devotion, he prayed to Lord to take the disease upon himself, liberating his guru from the prison of physical pain. The Lord Krishna accepted the student's sacrifice. Almost overnight, Bhattathiri's youthful strength withered away, replaced by the agonizing grip of rheumatism. He became a prisoner in his own body, unable to walk or even sit without support. It was in this state of total physical surrender that he was carried to the ancient Guruvayoor temple. He arrived not as a scholar seeking fame, but as a suffering soul seeking a dialogue with the Creator who had allowed this burden. Desperate for a path through his suffering, Bhattathiri sent a message to the great poet Ezhuthachan, asking for spiritual guidance. The reply he received was a cryptic sentence, "Start eating with the fish." While others were confused by this seemingly bizarre dietary tip, the scholar in Bhattathiri understood the hidden code immediately. Ezhuthachan was pointing him toward the Matsya avatar, the first incarnation. The message was clear: retell the stories of the Lord. Bhattathiri realized that to heal his body, he had to immerse his mind in the divine play of the universe. He made a solemn vow to summarize the entire Srimad Bhagavatam, day by day, right there in the temple courtyard. He decided to group his verses into sets of 10, known as dhaskas, 10 shloks. There were to be 100 such chapters, totaling over 1,000 verses. This was not just a literary project, it was a rhythmic penance, a heartbeat transformed into sacred Sanskrit poetry. What sets the Narayaniyam apart from the original Bhagavatam is the perspective. In the original text, a sage narrates stories to a king. But in the Narayaniyam, Bhattathiri speaks directly to the idol of Lord Guruvayoor Appa, or Lord Krishna himself. He uses the second person, addressing the Lord as thou. He complains of his pain, he asks for mercy, and he describes the Lord's beauty as if he is seeing him right in front of him. It is the most intimate conversation ever recorded in Sanskrit. As the days passed, the temple atmosphere began to change. Legend tells us that when Bhattathiri reached the 25th dhaska, 10 verses, which describes the terrifying Narsimha avatar, he struggled to find the words to capture the divine fury. Suddenly, a stone pillar in the temple began to shake with a violent vibration. The Lord manifested a glimpse of his fierce form just for the poet. This confirmation turned his scholarship into a living, breathing encounter with the divine. The process of writing was itself the medicine. For every chapter he completed, a part of his paralysis would recede. When he wrote of the Krishna Leela, his heart danced. When he wrote of the Varha avatar, his resolve strengthened. Each verse was a vibration that realigned his broken body. The devotees at the Guruvayoor temple watched in awe as the crippled scholar, who could barely hold a stylus, began to glow with a strange, celestial energy that transcended his illness. Lord was with him. On the 100th day, Bhattathiri reached the final stage of his journey of Lord's stories. He composed the Kesdipadam, a verse-by-verse description of the Lord starting from the crown of the head and moving down to the lotus feet. As he described the divine form with unparalleled poetic beauty, the final traces of his disease vanished. He stood up in the temple sanctorum, completely cured, his body as radiant as the gold on the temple roof. His penance was finally complete. Lord smiled. Bhattathiri ended his monumental devotion work with a single word of gratitude, Ayur Arogya Saukhyam. To a casual reader, it means long life, health, and happiness. But to the initiated, it is a mathematical marvel. Using the ancient Katapaidi system, this word represents the number of days elapsed in the Kali Yuga up to that date. It was his way of pinning this miracle into the very fabric of time, proving that Narayaniyam is a bridge between the eternal and the present. Krishna blessed. Today, the Narayaniyam remains the physician's text. In households across the world and especially in India and especially those who cherish the Gita press editions, it is recited not only for its beauty, but also for its healing power. It serves as a reminder that when the body fails, the spirit can find a way through the vibration of the mantras. Bhattathiri's sacrifice and his song remain eternal, proving that the condensed essence of the Bhagavatam is enough to save a life and heal a soul. The Gita Press version is highly valued for detailing the Falashruti, the specific fruit or benefit of each of the 100 chapters. It acts as a spiritual manual, guiding the seeker on which dhaska, collection of 10 verses, to recite for specific life challenges, ranging from mental peace to physical recovery. This highlights the practical nature of the text. It shows that the Narayaniyam is not just an old manuscript, but a living, breathing prescription for the modern human condition.